Alright, first things first. This is the free Charizard EX deck you get at Tier 0 of the Obsidian Flames Basic Battle Pass in TCG Live. It should definitely get you some wins against other free decks, but it's not nearly as good as it needs to be. That's because it only features 2 copies of Charizard EX and only 1 copy of the Pokemon Go Charizard. And if you don't get the latter out, the deck will struggle since Torkoal needs it to be a good attacker. Then when you reach Tier 16 of the Battle Pass, you'll add all of these cards to your collection for free, including 2 copies of Pidgeot EX, 1 Radiant Charizard, 4 Artazon, and 1 Squawkabilly. All of these will be integral to some of the different Charizard EX builds that you'll want to build on live. I know I'm jumping ahead a bit, but once you combine the cards in the default free deck, the cards in the first 16 tiers of the Battle Pass, and the free cards you receive with the 8 default free decks for 2023 in Live, this is what your Charizard EX deck should look like, all without spending any credits. It has 3 Charizard EX, 2 Pidgeot EX, 2 Bibarel, and 3 copies of Artazon. The game plan for Charizard is simple. Get as many basic Pokemon down turn 1 as possible, then on turn 2, start swinging. This particular build relies heavily on Charizard EX, so what you want to do is have the best turn 1 possible using Artazon and Battle VIP Pass. Then, hopefully, turn 2 will give you a Charizard EX, which means you can start swinging for 180 damage since Charizard's ability powers itself up. Once your opponent takes a Charizard KO, now it's doing 240 damage. And once another Charizard goes down, it's doing 300 damage, all for 2 energy. You will want to mix in Radiant Charizard at some point to force your opponent onto odd prizes, thus forcing them to take 4 knockouts to win the game instead of 3. And because of the flexibility Charizard EX's ability offers up, you could use Radiant Charizard early in the game or late in the game or both. The choice is yours. I also included Pidgeot EX in the deck since its ability gets you any card you want every single turn. But we're not done yet. The good news is that the Obsidian Flames Battle Pass will give you a couple thousand credits for free early on, so we can make some necessary upgrades to make the deck truly competitive. I've looked at a lot of Japanese lists and they're all eerily similar to what you can build for free. Realistically, you really only need to worry about crafting a 4th Charizard EX. You'll get a 4th one for free at Tier 50 of the Battle Pass, or you'll also get one for free during Worlds if you redeem the code. And you also have to worry about crafting 1 copy of Mew from Celebrations and 1 more Super Rod. If my math is correct, which it usually isn't, you'll need 1,125 credits to craft those 3 cards. I've seen some Japanese lists swap out Professor's Research for Colress's Experiment, so if you find yourself discarding Rare Candy far too often with Research, experiment with Colress. As for the version of the deck featuring just Charizard and Bibarel, you'll have to actually spend more credits. Between a 4th Charizard EX, 2 Mew from Celebrations, and another Super Rod, you're looking at spending 1,550 credits. Again, with the free credits you get from the Battle Pass, this is all super easy to build. Then we come to the most expensive build of Charizard EX, assuming you don't already own Arceus V and VStar. By adding Arceus VStar to the deck, you can use its ability, Starburst, to go get any 2 cards you need. The most likely targets are going to be Rare Candy and Charizard EX, making this version super consistent early in the game, but since there's no Pidgeot or Bibarel, you might struggle later in the game. Radiant Greninja does help with that, you already have a copy in your collection, but I still think Radiant Charizard is the better Radiant to pair with the deck. Regardless, Charizard EX can be played several different ways and all of them are powerful. If you want to build this version of the deck, it should cost you north of 4,000 credits. If you want to spice things up, other attackers the deck could feature are Entei V, which can deal 220 damage for 2 energy if both benches are full, Delphox V, which can do 120 damage and snipe 120 damage at the cost of sending 2 energy to the Lost Zone, and Snorlax, which is a 1-prize attacker that can deal 180 damage for 3 energy, though it does put itself to sleep. As a reminder, V Pokemon cost 750 credits to craft, while Holo Rares are 425 credits. Before I go, I will mention 151. The special set coming on September 22nd will add a new Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard EX. The new Charmander has 70 hit points instead of 60, meaning you'll want to play the new one in the deck. The new Charmeleon has 100 hit points instead of 90, so you might want to play the new one, though it won't work with Level Ball. And the new Fire-type Charizard EX can deal 330 damage for 4 energy. So when 151 comes out, you'll want 3 Dark-type Charizard EX plus 1 Fire-type Charizard EX in the deck. You can find lists for all these versions of Charizard EX in the description below, and make sure to comment which version of Charizard you plan on playing in the OF meta.